What's going on, guys and gals? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play War Thunder. As you can obviously tell, it is patch day. 1.7.1945 has released Weapons of Victory. That means that the new American tank destroyers are in, number of airplanes are in, and I'm not sure what the hell else is in. I know there's a Stug, and I want to say there's something for the Russians, but I really don't know. Oh, the Russians are getting a anti-aircraft vehicle, another one, finally. So yeah, originally I was going to make this episode about the Sherman line of American tanks, and just kind of touch on some other American tanks as well, but given that it's patch day, I've lost a couple replays. I didn't expect this patch to arrive so quickly, considering they just announced it about a week ago. So a lot of my replays are gone. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this episode and run with it, and we'll just kind of go from there. Well, it's been a little over a week since the patch came out, and I've been dicking around with the American tech tree, the German tech tree, the Russians. Pretty much been playing exclusively in tanks. I haven't been playing with the airplanes too much, mainly because there's just so many things to play with now in the armored warfare side of War Thunder. My favorite vehicle so far as I progress through the tech trees, has to be this little beast right here, the M10 GMC, or more commonly known as the Wolverine. This thing is absolutely incredible. I don't even know where to start. It's I've been complaining this whole time I've been playing through the American tech tree about the Americans not really having enough oomph with their firepower. Then came this little thing. It's a rank 2? Yeah, rank 2 tank destroyer, and it's just awesome. 76mm cannon when pretty much you don't have the opportunity to field a 76mm up until you get down here to this Sherman 76 right here. So it's a nice little sneak peek at the firepower that the American tech tree has to offer later down the line. Because as you can see, I've been playing pretty solid through the Americans, and I haven't even really progressed down to a tank armed with the 76mm yet. That's how much research you have to put into it. But let me tell you, this tank will perform, and it will perform very well under the right circumstances. It has really good gun depression, decent gun elevation, and the slope on its armor plates is quite angled enough to handle most things that'll come your way, given it is very thin-skinned and it is open-topped, so it is very susceptible to high explosives and especially artillery. If you have artillery coming down around you, your best bet is just get the hell out of there. I will tell you though that the most success I've had in this thing so far is doing things like ridgeline peeking. Find a nice shallow ridge or hill and just kind of poke it, use your gun depression to get a shot over the ridge, and do things like that. Take out Stugs from a distance away. And since you got that frontal plate that's heavily sloped, it's I'm not sure how thick it is, but you'll be able to survive a lot of stuff coming your way doing those little poke tactics. Its only weak spot is that turret. This was a really fun battle. Nothing too impressive really went on in this battle. I haven't unlocked all the modules on this tank yet. I don't think I still have all the modules unlocked on this tank yet. But this is just a really fun game. This is probably one of the more enjoyable games I've had in the M10, where I felt like I was playing it the way an M10 should be played. I was letting my team advance, and they were advancing very rapidly across the map, and I was just kind of hanging back and keeping pace with them and just supporting them as they went up through the map. I didn't finish with any, really high kill counts or anything like that, but it was a very fun match, and I felt I could make it cinematic enough to throw in this week's episode. So are you ready for a little history lesson on the M10? I'm ready for a little history lesson on the M10. The M10 had a pretty good story to it. I really like this tank. I really like it a lot. During World War II, when the Germans let loose the Blitzkrieg on Europe, the American military command sat back and was like, "Wow, I'm impressed. That's That's quite a tactic you have there. We have absolutely no means to stop it. So they set about developing new tactics and new vehicles to counter German blitzkrieg tactics. They developed a tank that should be a multi-platform, multitask-oriented vehicle. It needed to support infantry as well as break through enemy lines. The idea was that the tanks would be held in reserve, and when the infantry encountered German armor, the tank destroyers would be sent up and would engage the enemy armor and push it back. They needed the tank to be fast, though, so they built it on the chassis of an M4A2 medium tank. They made a bunch of modifications to it, as you can obviously see. This thing does not look like an M4. Its hull is completely different. It has sloped armor on the sides, rear, and front. It's very thin, though, and the turret is a thin, open-top turret, which is pretty much a death trap if you start taking fire while you're in it. There's one famous story that I found about a driver that went through 3 different turret crews throughout the course of the war. All 3 turret crews were killed in action, whereas the driver survived. Upon receiving his 4th crew, the crew learned of his history and flat out refused to enter the tank with the guy. So they wound up having to transfer him to another unit and just told him to kind of keep quiet about his service history. So let that put it into perspective just how dangerous it was to ride in the turret of this thing. It being open-topped and it being a tank destroyer, it gave the vehicle excellent visibility, but it was very, very dangerous. So the M10 has a very extensive service life to it. It served throughout the entire duration of World War II, despite having a replacement vehicle being fielded alongside of it. After the war, the Chinese bought some of these things. They bought some demilitarized versions and fitted a 105mm howitzer to it. During the war, however, it served with the Americans, of course, the British, the Soviet Union, and some of them even found their way into the hands of the Free French Army. The British, however, was the ones that gave it the nickname the Wolverine. The Americans just called it the TD, which, you know, I guess that's creative. Who am I to judge? In Tunisia, 1941 was when it was first used. Its gun could destroy most German tanks at the time. However, it wasn't really fully fast enough to employ the new tank destroyer tactics. Used in Normandy, it had difficulty dealing with Tigers and Panthers, which, you know, what Allied tank didn't at that particular point in time. It could, however, deal with the Panzer IVs, and they were the most numerous German tank on the battlefield, so its role was solidified in the U.S. Armed Forces. The 76mm M7 gun that it has in War Thunder, only about 300 of these tanks actually received that gun. Originally it had a 75mm, I think. I'm not too sure. They made about 2,000 of these things, so towards the end of its production cycle, that's when it received its hallmark gun. The British fitted a 17-pounder to it and dubbed it the Achilles. Some of you may know of that tank. So yeah, that's the life and times of the M10 Wolverine. It's one of my favorite vehicles so far in War Thunder. Its speed has a lot to be desired, but its punch more than makes up for it. But hey, let's not get carried away. If we're going to talk about tank destroyers, we have to talk about this vehicle first. This is the M3 75mm GMC, the predecessor to the Wolverine, if you will. In War Thunder, this is pretty much your rank 1 American tank destroyer. It's an M3 half-track body, which you're familiar with from all the anti-aircraft trucks that's come before this vehicle. The only difference, and it's, you know, a slight difference, is that instead of having an anti-aircraft mount, you have a 75mm cannon. So, yeah, little difference there. But don't let me sound overzealous here. Don't let the numbers fool you. It has a 75mm cannon, which is more than capable of taking out every single rank 1 and most rank 2 vehicles in the game. But the gun, well, you'll see in this replay, I'm just not having much success with it. It's a pretty solid vehicle. As I stated previously, when Germany rolled out with the Blitzkrieg in France, the Americans saw it and thought, oh shit, we gotta do something about that. This vehicle was the immediate response to that. In 1940, once France was defeated, they set to work, trying to develop a vehicle that will be able to punch holes in German tanks. They didn't have tanks, really, at that particular point in time. What they did have, though, was lots and lots of half-tracks. So they just set to work, mounting a 75mm cannon on an M3 half-track. In June of 1941, the vehicle was tested, they liked it, and by October, it was standardized and rolled out into service. 2,200 of these were built, but only 842 of them actually saw service. The rest of them were converted back into troop transports. You can imagine being the poor bastard on the assembly line who just cranked out one of these things, only to have to tear it apart and rebuild it as something else. So as you're seeing here, I'm scoring solid hits on these German tanks. That except for that round right there, ricocheted off the barrel of the gun. The problem I've been having with this tank so far is that you don't survive long enough to really earn any experience. This was one of my first games in this vehicle, so of course I only have, I think that's APCR. I don't know what round that is, just from looking at the footage here. But it's not a explosive round. And then I have high explosive. So essentially, when you first unlock this vehicle, your two options are put dents into tanks or punch in one side and out the other. So it's very hard, as you're seeing here, as I'm shooting at these M3s. I'm penetrating, I'm killing crew members, but I'm not getting that sweet one-shot kill, which is good. Like, the gun has some good stopping power. This thing will take out, like I said, a hell of a lot of the rank 2 vehicles that are in the game. The downside, though, is that you kind of have to shoot and scoot, and in this vehicle it's a little bit hard because you have that fixed gun. You don't have a turret, so you pretty much have to know where you go, figure out where you're going to be shooting from, figure out where the enemy is going to be coming at you from in order to really put this vehicle to good use. And that poor Panzer IV there, taking a shot for his M3 buddy and getting clipped, and now I've taken some shots. My fuel tank's damaged, suspension's damaged, driver's wounded, and I believe I'm on fire now. And of course I have no fire extinguishers, no repair kits, so this is a death sentence now for me. Which is a quick more historical facts before this replay wraps up. It was the most numerous tank destroyer used in North Africa. And it was used in the Philippines as well against the Japanese, where it saw great success against the Japanese light tanks that it encountered. But primarily, this was an artillery vehicle. It had an indirect fire range of up to 9,000 yards. So for the most part, they used this as artillery throughout the early goings of World War II. Not saying it's a bad vehicle, definitely not saying it's a good vehicle, but it has its role. I just haven't found it yet. Chances are, if you're playing War Thunder now, this is a sight that you will never see. Those are the barrage balloons above the new map Normandy. And look, they're still there. At this particular point in time, which is probably a day or so after the patch hit, it might have been the same day, no one figured out that you could shoot down the barrage balloons yet. So we had peace and quiet in the beginning of each matchup. Now it's, the 15 seconds after the game starts, you get both teams sporadically, frantically shooting down as many balloons as they can, dropping everybody's frame rates, all for a miserable 200 silver that they might get. So, yeah, that's that. But this is the new Normandy map, and I do love this map a lot, except for the fact that when you're out here in the hedgerows, you can't see a damn thing because of all these freaking hedgerows. It is just like how Normandy is supposed to be represented. This is the KV-1E, by the way, premium tank, which I just picked up, and it's good. It's a KV. It's a KV-1 with the same gun, the same horsepower, the same engine, you know, the same exact loadout. The exception is it's about, I think it's like 2 tons heavier. So it's really, really slow. I'm going 15 kilometers per hour down this road, and as soon as I let off the accelerator, I drop down to single-digit speeds. But essentially, this was a KV-1 with 25mm armor plates welded onto the turret and the hull, bringing the hull up to, I think it's 85mm, and the turret up to 100. The numbers might be mixed up, but nevertheless, they up-armored this to deal with tigers and panthers, things that could kill KVs. And going to work on that Sherman down there, he was putting rounds into my ally down at the end of the road. Looks like I couldn't get to him in time. But this is a really strong tank. And is that a M3? Yep. Nice, nice try, buddy. Like I said, the gun on that M3 75mm gun carrier can take out most tanks in rank 2. Not all of them. Not a strong tank like the KV. And I was just checking the X-ray mode there for a minute to see if that tank destroyer actually did cause damage, and nope, we're all good, all green across the board. Shermans, especially rank 2 Shermans there, their cheeks are always a nice little sweet spot to aim for, so that's what I'm going for with this KV-1E, because despite the heavy armor and it being a premium tank, it is only a KV-1, and its battle rating puts me in a spot where the gun might be underpowered in some situations, so you really have to know how to use it and where to shoot, as I just demonstrated on that poor M4A3. But back to talking about the map itself. I can't describe to you guys enough how much I love this map. I've been waiting for something like this from War Thunder for quite some time now. I've longed for a map that felt open yet confined. Like I liked the I can't remember the name of the map. It's the little town that's right on a lake. I want to say it's called Poland or something. I don't know what the hell the map's called, but that map I really liked, but it had a lot of wasted space. This map is huge, but there's not a single inch of it that is given up to nothing. As I'm about to jump into this bomber here, you can see down there's the city, and then you just have all this sprawling countryside around it, but there's hills, hedgerows, small little towns, outlying farms. There's all sorts of detail, and even down to the beach. The beach, which I'll probably cover in another replay, and I think I just saved my own ass there. Let's find out here. Yeah, it looks like, yep. Yeah, it looks like somebody, as I was in bomber mode, managed to swing around behind me and my completely oblivious ally here. So, hats off to myself for saving my own life there. But yeah, as I was saying, this map is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I don't think I've played a single bad game on this map yet. Well, okay, let me back up. I've had some bad games on this map. But what the hell? Panzer III might want to think about doing something besides getting in my fucking way. But, oh dear. I kind of feel like I'm partially responsible for that, but whatever, F him. Yeah, but like I said, I've had some really bad games on this map, but I've never not enjoyed myself. This map is just, it's just beautiful, from the architecture to the scenery to just how battles tend to play out on this. This is easily one of my new favorite maps in the game. And this poor Sherman better do something, and do something quick before I reload. I have a wounded loader, so my reload time is now excruciatingly long. But he's horribly outmatched in a straight-up fist fight in this KV-1E, so gonna have to do something about this guy and do it quick. Nice turret shot going on. What the fuck? I hit the gun mantlet. Oh, he's so lucky. And now I got Shermans behind me and another KV-1 down there. That's the one downside about this thing. I didn't have enough time to react no matter what, but traversing in the KV-1E is a very time-consuming process. So if you're not facing the right way when a firefight breaks out, you're going to have some problems. But this Sherman choosing to ignore me, I guess he thought maybe the fire was going to kill me. I don't know. I have a fire extinguisher, and you have an ammo rack. Goodbye, sir. Oh dear. Oh, no, wait, the Sherman. Oh, that bastard. The M4A1 came back around the corner. So yeah, whatever. I would have preferred to die to a KV over a Sherman, but hey, whatever. KV-1E on the Normandy map. Fun times. Well, since we're on the subject of premium tanks, let's talk about this machine that I picked up. This is the KV-1B. It has a cast turret instead of a welded one. The KV-1Bs were armed with the long F-34 cannon, and then later they were equipped with the ZIS 76mm gun. It has 75 millimeters of hull armor, with 25 millimeter added on side strip armor. Its turret is 105 millimeters, and well, if you have a very astute eye, some of you might be able to pick out that this is in fact a German KV. During World War II, the Germans liked the KV. When they first encountered it on the Leningrad front, this thing was pretty much completely invincible to most of the tanks that they were fielding at the time. So whenever they could get their hands on an intact KV, they took it. And you can see by that little cupola up on top there, it's distinctly German. Another distinct feature of this tank is the gun. It is the KWK-40 L43 75mm gun, the same gun that's used on the Panzer IV F2, which is pretty ironic. They put the gun that can kill KVs on a KV, and well, the gun can kill Panzers as well as it can kill a KV. That was quite the spectacular explosion there. And I apologize for the sound clipping. I don't know what's going on with the War Thunder replay system. It seems like no matter what, they can never get all the bugs ironed out with this thing. The replay system's gorgeous, as you can see here from this shot. Like, look at that. That's almost wallpaper worthy right there. But there's all sorts of issues with sounds not being where they should be, and different sounds being over top of other sounds. I don't know. It's very wonky, but I mean, I'm not complaining. It is a free-to-play game after all. But that's my issue with the replay system currently, is all the crap with the sound effects. But this tank is awesome. It's a premium German tank, so you get all the bonuses associated with having a premium tank. But you get all the perks of a KV with all the downsides of a German tank. That cupola there, I just took a shot straight through the visor, wounding my commander. That thing is like a big old bullseye right up on top of my tank. But that L43 gun, words don't describe just how awesome that gun is for its battle rating. Like, there isn't a single tank that I fear. I think I killed an IS earlier. Just snapshotted the guy right through the flank into the fuel tank. Gone. You know, this tank is just very impressive. But it does have its moments. This Sherman 76 should be dead to rights. I just put a shot in his engine. He's not moving. Lining up the shot on the ammo rack. What? I don't know. I damaged the ammo rack but didn't get the kill. I don't know. So this tank is durable as well, as you're about to see. I am currently, well, I'm basically fucked. I've managed to overextend myself, and I'm now taking fire from 3 different directions: beside me, to my starboard, and then off somewhere straight ahead. I've managed to position myself straight into the jaws of the enemy, and now I'm paying for it. I've put out the fire in my engine twice, and the enemy keeps setting me on fire. Somehow, though, my tank is capable of reversing, although it's not reversing at any great speed, and I'm pretty sure my crew has to traverse the turret manually. The tank does have some life and some fight left in it. God only knows how many of my crew members are wounded and dead at this point. What I'm trying to figure out at this particular point is why I'm not dead. The fire is still burning. I don't know if it's a bug, and I don't know if that guy is ever going to shut up about the engine compartment being damaged. But yeah, I'm not dead. I'm just gonna sit here and just keep burning for quite some time. Looks like all my crew members are still okay. My gas tanks are on fire, and yeah, I'm just waiting to reload my gun, I think, at this point. Ah, oh, that's better. No more guys screaming at me about my engine being on fire. But I figured if I'm gonna die, at least I'll go out in a bomber and take out some ground targets, you know. Then I'll come back to a nice burnt out tank, and then I'll just respawn in another. Oh, okay. Why is the world sideways? Oh, that has something to do with it, probably. That was weird. The gun camera stayed fixed on the ground. So, alright, bomber shot down. Surely my tank's destroyed. Oh. No, I'm still... I was sitting there, stationary, that entire time, taking shots from that M4A1, and I'm still alive. Like, I don't understand. Like, I think the fire not killing me is a bug. I'm pretty sure that's the case there. But as to why this Sherman hasn't been able to finish me off, still have to get tank is strong tank. I don't even know how many shots I've taken from that Sherman. And keep in mind, there's still a Sherman behind me, and oh fuck, it's a SU-122. Oh, thank you, my friend. KV-1B lives to fight another day. We got artillery coming in down around me. That M4 is still putting shots into me. They just put another shot into me. My suspension's been damaged. Looks like he's trying to go for my engine or my fuel tanks, but not really going to give him a chance to finish me off. So sometime later, the fire continues to burn. Looks like my commander's finally dead, and my gun is disabled as well. So if we're going to go out, I guess we'll try again. We'll hop up here in a fighter, try to take out this bomber, but he's too far ahead. I'm not going to be able to catch up to him before he does any damage. And yeah, looks like I might actually pull through this to the end. One thing I like to do, though, especially in a fighter, I will take any chance I get to get up here and do a kill streak in the air. Not really to actually shoot shit and bomb shit, but running recon. I just did my strafing run there, and now I'm just pulling a quick circle, taking a quick note of where the enemy is, where they're moving, and as soon as I get the opportunity, I'm down there in the chat box telling my team where the enemy is and what they're doing. And all, my KV-1B finally burnt down. But hey, that was one hell of a game. Strug 42 is also in. This is the Strug with the 105mm, I think it is, howitzer on it. Not gonna go back and research that tank. I just don't feel like it has a place. It's a battle rating 3.7. I already have plenty of other 3.7 tank destroyers. I have a Strug F, which does the job just fine. Panzer 4G, so I don't necessarily need that tank. From what I understand, I think that's about it that got put into the German tech tree. If I'm wrong about that, feel free to correct me. Over on the Russian side, we have their little anti-aircraft vehicle that I was talking about, and it comes in at rank 1. It's just essentially 4 looks like Vickers machine guns on the back of a truck. That's fucking awesome. But yet again, I'm not gonna bother researching that because I already have that 72K gas, and that thing does the job just fine. Don't really need it. Well, folks, we're going to go into a bit of overtime today, and the reason for that is I just couldn't end this video without putting in this replay of me and the Tiger H1. Originally, this episode, of course, was going to be about the patch, and the tanks, and the maps, and all the features that come along with it, but we've kind of gone a bit off track with that, so we're just going to wrap it up after this, this replay and call it a day. But if you've been watching my Let's Play War Thunder series, you'll know that me and the Tiger don't really have a good relationship. What generally happens is I get in my Tiger, I go out, I spend about 2 minutes driving up to where the combat is, I squeeze off a shot, do some damage, and then I die. I have every expectation that that is exactly what's going to happen in this battle, because that's how it's shaping up right now. I hit a Panzer IV F2 and set him on fire when he should have been blown to pieces. I hit an M6, and from what I could tell, the shot didn't even register, but hey, the Panzer IV F2 just burnt to death. He must have not had a fire extinguisher. Alright, that's a kill. Cool. I can go die now. And here's a Sherman 76. Oh! Through the turret, dead. Alright. That's what the 88's supposed to do. Excellent. Let's see what else we got. Looks like a T-34-85. Oh! Through the turret, one shot. Alright. So this is looking up. 3 kills. I haven't taken a shot yet. That's good. That's really good for me and the Tiger. So I'm just gonna push up, see where the enemy is, and, you know, let the chips fall where they may. I've had a good game so far in this Tiger. If I die, I die. Surely at some point here soon I'll come across an M6, or an IS, or a KV2, or something like that, and I'll just get blown to pieces, and I can just start a new game. However, that's not how this is going to shape up. I just set another Panzer IV, or no, I just set an M6 on fire, taking shots now from a Panzer III, that poor Panzer III, and trying to get a shot into the turret of that M6, but he's too far hauled down, so unfortunately not able to finish him off. Turning my attentions back to that Panzer III now, and I figure to go down here into the river, get low, and if they stick their nose out to take a shot at me, I'll shoot them through the lower glacis, and yeah, that'll be all she wrote. Have I mentioned just how beautiful the Tiger is? No, that's water. Okay, there we go. Thank you, replay system. It's got to be one of the most beautiful tanks ever made. It's just straight lines and violence. And oh, what the fuck? Panzer III coming down to get him some of that sweet, sweet Tiger. Unfortunately, what? Okay, so that's more of what I'm used to with a Tiger. Point blank, 88 round to the turret, nothing. It does have spaced armor on the front of that Panzer III, but I don't think it should have survived a point-blank shot like that from the 88. He's putting shots into me. My loader, I think, is wounded, and my commander. So he pretty much has me dead to rights here. My engine's damaged, horizontal aiming drive damage, loader's wounded. I'm taking shots from 2 directions now. So there's really, I've at least I've achieved the Adamant Award. Yay! But trying to position my Tiger now, I managed to repair whatever damage was done to my engine. Look at all the bullet holes, all the dents from the cannon rounds in my flanks and in the top of my tank there. That's amazing. It's amazing that I'm not dead yet. I'm taking damage to my horizontal aiming drive. I'm pretty sure every single crew member is wounded at this point. And finally, I get that round loaded and finish off that Panzer III. But oh, lo and behold, we have that M6. That thing, I have one of those now unlocked, and that's a really, really good tank. It can make short work of Tigers with its main gun, and it has a coaxial 30mm as well that fires, I think it's APCR and high explosive. Very good tank. However, for whatever reason, he's having some difficulty dealing with me. I just set him on fire. I'm not sure this is the same N6 I set on fire earlier, but he's still burning, and I'm still bouncing rounds. I'm thinking maybe he's accidentally firing high explosive at me this whole time, because there should be no excuse why I'm still alive throughout all this. That M6 should have had me dead to rights like 3 times over by now. I'm just calmly sitting here loading my 88mm. Just look at the damage that this thing's received. All my skirts are blown off. I have just craters all over this tank, and this guy, for the life of him, just can't seem to find a single weakness in my armor. He's still burning. This is just unreal. Finally, the 88 gets that round out, taking out that M6. That was absolutely spectacular. There's no reason why I should have survived all that. 6 kills I've managed to pick up in this thing. And look at that. Just look at all the shell holes in the side of that thing. You know, fun fact, I'm going to have to research this, but somebody told me once that the side armor was actually weaker than the rear armor on this thing, for the sole purpose of the Germans knew that the enemy was going to try to employ tactics of getting around behind the Tiger to shoot out its engine, so they purposely made its rear armor almost as thick as its frontal armor to counter that tactic. Again, I'm not sure if that tactic's true, or that if that fact is true, but pretty fun fact nevertheless. Unfortunately, this battle does result in a loss. I don't know, my team was just, circle jerking in the back. I really wasn't paying attention to anything they were doing the whole time, but fun match. I haven't had a game like that in my Tiger ever since. Well, alright guys and gals, as you gaze upon the majesty of the KV-1E, I would like to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for watching this episode and giving it a like if you liked it. Comment down below if you have a comment or a question for me. And you can see up here where the little arrow is pointing, my gamer tag is Hotel Soap with a 0 for the first O. Hit me up and you might wind up on an episode of Let's Play War Thunder. I'm on Steam as well. My name on there is Prod. And yeah, hit me up and we'll play some games sometimes. So again, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care.